Screen is clean. Hello. Live from Los Angeles. Hey, friends. Hey. If you could drop in the chat where you're tuning in from, I would love that. I'm like holding on to this thing so that I don't stop, that I stop spinning. Oh my gosh. I miss going live on YouTube. I really do. Hold on one second. Does it not go? Friends, I'm excited to talk today. Hey, Patricia. So I decided to do a live today instead of an episode. Well, one, because, okay, I feel like this is tilting. One, because I just didn't have content ready. And two, because I'm really trying to challenge myself to practice the law of least effort, which is what I wanted to get into today. Because if you guys saw the title of this live stream, it is, what did I say? It's there has to be an easier way to do life. Because I genuinely believe that there is. And I don't know. And I have to stop saying I don't know. But I feel like I'm like in between two chapters right now where like my last chapter, I was like hustle, 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 like go, go, go. It's how I spent the majority of my 20s, like always pushing, forcing, trying, hustling, nonstop, go. And I am just so over that way of living. I feel like it's the reason why I like constantly feel burned out. It's the reason why I burned out from doing YouTube in the first place. And it's like, I just don't want to live life like that anymore. And if any of you guys who are on right now agree with that, please drop it in the chat. Let me know. Because in my mind, I'm like, it cannot just be me. But I think for me, like hustle culture, it's just not something I strive for. It's not something I want anymore. Like I'm just kind of over it. And it's like, I truly do believe there is an easier way to live where we're in flow, with like what it is we're truly meant to be doing versus like pushing and forcing doors to open that like we're never meant to open in the first place, if that makes sense. Working smarter, not harder. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So it's just been on my heart and on my mind a lot. And as I've been thinking about all of this too, I was thinking a lot about just like the law of least effort, which have you guys read the book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra? It's a book that I read years and years ago, like honestly, like when I was still living in New York City. And like everything that he goes through in the book is wonderful, but like what hit home was the law of least effort. And I think I wrote it down. Hold on, let me see. The law of least, hold on. Least effort. Here it is. Okay, so the law of least effort says, it says it's based on the fact that nature's intelligence functions with effortless ease and abandoned carefreeness. This is the principle of least action, of no resistance. This is, therefore, the principle of harmony and love. When we learn this lesson from nature, we easily fulfill our desires. And then he goes on to say, if you observe nature at work, you will see that least effort is expended. Grass doesn't try to grow, it just grows. Fish don't try to swim, they just swim. Flowers don't try to bloom, they just bloom. The law of least effort is about doing less and accomplishing more. It's the idea that when your actions are motivated by love, alignment, and acceptance, and not by resistance or ego, you create with ease and without struggle. And nature models this law perfectly. And it's funny. So I've been trying to post more on TikTok. If you guys don't follow me on TikTok, please go follow me. I would really appreciate it. But I've been posting more on TikTok, and I'm trying to post like 5 to 10 times a day, which sounds like a lot, right? But I decided like my approach to it is going to be like, how can I make this as easy as possible for me? How can I just post what feels right and in flow and natural versus like trying to come up with all these crazy concepts and crazy ideas that I'm going to spend so much effort in doing for them to just like, for the video to just like not do well, right? Because I don't know, friends. I think there's some woo stuff going on with TikTok because so many creators say, like so many creators who have blown up on TikTok say that it's always the content that they put the least amount of effort into that does really well. Why do you guys think that is? If we go back to the law of least effort, it's because they're probably in flow with what they're supposed to be doing. Right. So it's like, I'm kind of trying to take that approach to it. And honestly, my content in general. And actually, I did want to ask you guys, do you guys like live streams more or do you guys actually prefer the like more produced podcast episodes? Or do you guys like jumping on live? Because honestly, like, and I was actually thinking this right before I hopped on this live stream. I was kind of like, should I just go live every week instead of trying to like produce content every week that takes a lot more effort, a lot more work, And I feel like this way I can like chat with you guys. Okay, you like both. Okay. Cause I'm like, this way I can like chat with you guys and it just feels more like, I don't know. Like, I will say doing a solo podcast, which I mean, eventually I definitely want guests on, but doing a solo podcast where it's like you're talking and like there's no response, it is not a walk in the park. I feel like it's something that I'm like learning to get better and better at because it's literally like you're just staring into a camera versus like I feel like when I'm on live, it's like we're kind of talking together or it's like I know that someone's on the other side, if that makes sense. Oh, thank you. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's just something I was thinking about too. And also, sorry, I kind of like jump all over the place, which is probably why it like takes me so long to edit my podcast episodes because I always just have these thoughts popping off. But this live stream is also like a free for all AMA. Ask me anything. Feel free to any questions that are on your heart, that are on your mind. Feel free to ask away, and I'll do my best to answer. But this is meant to be like interactive. Like, don't feel like you just have to sit and listen, talk in the chat, ask me questions. I'm here to help. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, I was just thinking a lot about that, about the TikTok algorithm. And I hear this a lot in the creator economy. Right. And I don't know what professions you guys are in. I feel like it's different in like more corporate or like medical professions. I don't know, but like, I just know when it comes to like creating and like being a creator, it's usually just like what flows through you that like you should be sharing and talking about versus like trying to come up with these crazy cool concepts. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Cause I feel like in the past, I would put so much effort into my content, like a crazy amount of effort to the point where it wasn't fun anymore. And I'm at the point where I really want this to be fun. Like I genuinely in my heart of hearts know that like I'm supposed to be creating on social media in some capacity. And eventually would love to scale that in some way once I kind of like get back into fully get back into the groove of things, but I don't want to hustle and I don't want to force. And it's funny because I feel like I spent the majority of like the beginning of my career, like fresh out of college. It was kind of like I was constantly trying to make turn my weaknesses into strengths, right? And I think that's what the force and the push and the trying so hard and all of that stuff came from, because I was trying so hard to like do things that I think just didn't really come naturally to me. So now I'm kind of like, what if I swing the pendulum and start doing things that I feel like come a little bit more naturally to me, that I don't have to like work so hard at or force, and just see what happens. And it's like, I'm really trying to challenge myself to do this, because I don't know. I just think it's gonna be. I just think it's gonna open the door to a new way of being, and like a new way of and open the door to like new possibilities, new opportunities, and all of that. If I just like really go with the flow of like who I am and like what I feel called to do and create. Let me know if that makes sense. And also, if any of you guys want to do this challenge with me, please do, and we can like chat about it whenever I have these live streams, because it's something that I'm really trying to hold myself accountable to. And it's not to say that like I don't believe in hard work or anything like that, because it's like, I mean, my YouTube channel was built on a lot of hard work, you know? So I do think that hard work is a part of it, but I feel like working hard feels different when you're doing it in alignment. When you're doing it building something that you feel so called to create or so called to do. You know, like I don't think things are meant to be so hard, especially when it comes to projects that we're creating. Let's see. PJ says, I'm in a boot camp currently that helps design products and services around your natural talents and personality type. Oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. What's the boot camp? That sounds so cool. I'm sure people would love to know if you're open to sharing. If you're not, like, don't worry about it, but that sounds really cool. Stevie says, I'm in the banking world as a current day job, but I'm getting into starting a life coaching business and find it difficult to post when I overthink it or force something to come. Ooh, I love that. Well, one, congrats on getting into life coaching. That's super cool. And honestly, girl, I feel like you need to, girl or guy, sorry, Stevie, I'm not sure, but I feel like you need to just start posting whatever comes to mind. Like, don't second guess it, just post it. Like, that's kind of what I'm doing with TikTok right now, and just like experimenting, and like, honestly, whatever is on my heart is what I'm throwing up there. Some of it's funny, some of it's dancing, some of it is just kind of like sit down talks about like what I'm going through. And it's like, it's really been taking the pressure off of just posting too. And I'm really just like having fun with it right now. And I really do like it. And it makes posting 5-ish times a day a lot easier, and also like a lot more fun. Like, it's actually something I look forward to now. And it's more of like a hobby versus like in the past when I would scroll on TikTok, I would get so overwhelmed and just like, I don't know, I would just feel like it's just so much work, right? Like, I would just feel like, oh my God, like this is so much, like so many people are creating, and it's just, you know, but like now I'm just like, wait, this is so fun. And I think I just had to take my perfectionist hat off for sure. And then I also had to like, almost like get out of my mind and into my heart, if that makes sense. Girl, it says, I'm trying to make sure it feels, Stevie says, I'm trying to make sure it feels real, authentic, and aligned. I love that. Stevie, I love that so much. But also, if you, okay, sorry, I just had a really good thought. I think if you try to make it real, authentic, and aligned, then it won't really be that. Like, I almost feel like if it's real and authentic and aligned, it will just flow. Like, I feel like that's where we get caught up. Like, honestly, and it's where I get caught up too, is like trying, right? It's like when we try, when we're like, I almost feel like it has to be like a pull versus a push, if that makes sense. Like maybe you don't try. Like maybe it's just like, oh, I saw this. Like honestly, this is something that I'm trying to do. If I see like an interesting quote on social media that really resonates with me, I have this folder on Instagram called Podcast Thoughts, and I just put it in my podcast thought folder so that like when I'm creating or if I want to create a video, I just go into that folder and I'm like, oh, this is stuff that I already love. Let's just pick one of these and let me just freely talk about it. Right. So like maybe there's something you can do like that with your life coaching business, depending on like the different topics you want to cover. Like if there's something that just really spoke to you, or if, you know, you wake up one day and like a certain lesson is on your heart, just share it, you know? Cause I kind of think when it comes to being authentic online, it's less about trying to be authentic and more about being. And it's honestly something I'm trying to do too, girl. Like just in general, like how can I just be more versus like trying so hard? Because a lot of the times, like we have all the answers. Like I don't think I don't know. Like, and again, I'm kind of like speaking from the mind frame. I'm speaking from the mindset of like where I was a few years ago for sure. And honestly, even when I think about the beginning of this year, it's like I feel like I would get so caught up in like the mind of it, like my mind, and like, oh, maybe I need to create this really cool series. And I would start like, oh my God, it's like, no, girl, like maybe you just need to like put out the content and like see what happens and see how it flows. Cause also I will say, I mean, I've only done this like 5 times a day posting thing on TikTok for like the past few days. I don't even think it's been a week yet. But the more I post and the more I just kind of hop on, it's like the more I feel like I get more content ideas or like things will come to me. And I kind of do the same thing on TikTok that I do on Instagram, where it's like if I'm scrolling and there's a post that really inspires me or something that I think is cool, I'll just save it in my collection. I'll save it in my, I call it my I Am Her collection. And then whenever I want to create something, I'll just go back into that and kind of like see what I want to get inspo from. So, Stevie said, I've shared stuff in my Facebook group, some cool things in my feed that good things to share. Cool. PJ says you can't do that if you're not providing the space for that. If you're over consuming social media and comparing, you'll block your own productivity. I 1,000% agree. And I also think that comparison is a thief of joy. And I think when I was in that state, when I was like getting so overwhelmed, it was honestly because I was like, dang, like people are pumping out so much content and I'm not doing that. You know, like I'm still trying to figure out what I even want to talk about. And I think it kind of made me feel like, oh my gosh, like, am I going to be able to post that much and all of that stuff? So you're absolutely right. Like, I think the more you consume, sometimes the less you create. So it's like, I'm right now trying to create more than I consume. That's really, truly a goal of mine, is just to create more than I consume. I mean, sometimes it's nice to consume because it's like I'll get inspiration or like words of wisdom or like, you know, just it'll spark an idea that like I might want to do for myself. But yeah, I'm really, 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 really trying hard to create more than I consume because I love to create and I love to chat with you guys. And it's like, that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know, maybe instead of always doing the the more produced podcast, maybe like once or twice a month, we'll just do live streams. Cause it's like, it's really fun to just be able to like chat with you guys and even like get inspo from you guys too on like what you're hearing, thinking, talking about, you know? Yes, the answers are there if we're willing to pause and listen. I completely agree. How many people pumping out content end up in scandals or inauthentic? A consistent, steady schedule versus oversaturation is key. I totally agree. I sometimes I challenge the consistency piece of it, and I only challenge it because I do genuinely think that like true creatives, right? Like they're not creative. Creativity, I feel like sometimes isn't like an always on thing. Like sometimes I feel like creativity comes in waves. Like the most creative people in the world, like I don't think every single day they're like creating a masterpiece. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like sometimes it comes in waves, or like I think sometimes inspiration hits and you have that flow. And so it's something that I think is tricky, especially when it comes to social media and algorithms and stuff like that. So it's like, I personally am trying to lean more into like my personal creativity versus keeping up with the algorithm, if that makes sense. And actually, when I was at this event not too long ago with the Creative Ladder, and I met this girl, super cool. She's like a DJ, but then also owns her own like film company, like really cool. And something that she said really stuck with me. She said she's working on creating her own algorithm for her own life versus trying to keep up with what everyone else to keep up with what everyone else is doing in social media and all of that stuff. And when she said that, I was like, I love that. I love that so much because it's like the truth of the matter is like life has so many ups and downs, and it's like sometimes you just don't sometimes you're not on it, you know, sometimes you don't have the right word, like not I don't want to say the right words, but sometimes it's not really on your heart to create, or it's not really on your heart to share. I shouldn't say create, but to share. You know, like sometimes you're just going through it and you need a minute. So the consistency piece for me, it's like I want to be consistent. It's like this. I think for me, I want to be consistent in like following the law of least effort. I want to be consistent in doing what just comes naturally to me. Like I feel like that's where I want my consistency to lie in versus trying to be consistent in keeping up with the algorithms and doing all the things, if that makes sense. Like I really want it to start with me, and I also want to be consistent in feeling joy with what I'm doing. Um and I say that because it's like I and again, as I'm talking, it's like I'm really kind of speaking about like content creation, creativity, and like all of that stuff. Cause I do genuinely think that like when you find joy in what you're doing, it's like that's when you attract the opportunities, you attract the right people, the support system, the friends, or whatever it is that you need to succeed in doing the thing that you're doing, is if you are doing it at a high frequency, which means you are in flow, you are having fun. You know, it's like I feel like when you're creating from a place where it's like a force and it's hard and it's stressful and it's like that's what's going into what you're creating, and then that's what people are perceiving on the other side. So yeah, one thing I'm really, really trying to do is just whatever I'm excited about, whatever brings me joy, like that's kind of like what I want to share and like what I want to do. Whatever I'm inspired by. And like another thing that I've been working on too is just again like focusing more on me, and how do I want to say this? Focusing more on like how I feel when I'm doing it versus the outcome. Like that's kind of how I'm measuring my success right now. Like, did I have fun doing that? Did it make me feel good? Afterwards, did I feel drained or did I feel excited? Because if I feel drained after doing this thing, then it took a lot out of me. And that's not how I want to feel after I'm like doing something that like is kind of like a hobby or a creative endeavor, you know? And I don't know. Like I think I just want to unsubscribe to the hustle of it and unsubscribe to doing the things I should do. And I think especially when it comes to things that you're just doing for fun and doing for connection and community and whatnot, right? It's like I don't think those things should make you feel drained and super tired and exhausted and like I think it should lift you up and light you up. So that's kind of what I'm trying to move towards. As a creative person, I agree. Sometimes we need a break till we get inspired again. No, absolutely. And there's this quote. I don't know why I keep feeling like I'm See, like this feels like I'm straight, but it's not. This is when I'm straight, but then it looks tilted. But anyways, I think you're absolutely right. And there's actually this quote that says, um, there's this quote that says, creative people need time to be bored. Like creative people need time to just sit and like do nothing. And I remember seeing that and being like, what, really? Because up until that point, I used to think that, oh, we need to be creative all the time and go, go, go. Like that's what we're supposed to be doing. But it's like, no, like we need rest. We need a break. We need time to just like let inspiration strike. And I feel like if we're go, 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 go all the time, it prevents us from like hearing what it is that we are supposed to be doing or like hearing the big idea. You know, it's why I think there are stats on this too. I'll have to see if I can find them for you guys. But they say it's why like a lot of creative people get their best ideas like in the shower or when they're driving, right? Because it's like they're doing like this activity that I guess you could deem maybe as boring, but like they're doing this activity where it's like they don't really need to use their brain. I mean, a little bit, I guess, when you're showering and when you're driving, I guess you're paying attention, but it's like, it's not to the, you're not using your brain at like its fullest capacity where it's like you're solving a problem or like doing a big challenge. It's like your brain has a second to relax. And I think that as creative people, we really, really need to do that more. Any of you guys, any of you creatives out there, just like taking time to just like sit and do nothing. Something else that like my osteopath has talked to me a lot about is just like the importance of having be time, which I feel like I talked to you guys a little bit about before, but having be time is basically just time for you to just be like in your essence, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. Cause it's like, I know, you know, a lot of us have busy schedules and it's like, we're not always able to take a lot of time, but like, even if you can just find 5 minutes a day to just be like, and when I say be, it's just like doing whatever it is that you want to do in that moment. Like for me, honestly, like I love listening to music. I love trap music. Hey, break it down. Like guys, if you guys saw my playlist, you'd be like, girl. I have been playing around with making a playlist for you guys though. But whenever I'm like listening to like a really good song, like inspiration just hits me. Like there's something about just like listening to music that like lights me up. And like, I think that that's just my thing. And, but sometimes I have to remind myself like, Tiff, listen to, like, you haven't really listened to music today. Listen to music. And it's funny. It's like, sometimes I think we resist doing like the things that like would actually unlock something in us. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's hustle culture. I don't know. Well, no, I know for me, sometimes I think that sometimes I feel like those little things that like listening to music or whatever, I'm like, oh, I can do it whatever, whenever. So then I end up like not doing it, if that makes sense. When it's like, no, it's actually the most important thing for you to do throughout the day is listen to music or be in your space and be in your energy. So let's all try to do that more because I think it will help us out a lot. Social media has created a new version of keeping up with the Joneses in several different ways. It has, but we don't have to subscribe to it. This is the thing. Like, it won't be a thing. It won't be keeping up with the Joneses if we just don't subscribe to it. And I'm not subscribing to, I'm out. Like, I'm still going to create and do and whatever, but like, kind of like what I said earlier, comparison is the thief of joy. And it's like, I genuinely think that all of us individually have something so cool and so unique to bring to the table. And like, that's what makes us interesting. That's what makes us creative. No two people have the same exact story. No two people do, you know? So it's like, whenever you're bringing that to the table, there's no competition. Like you are not competing with anyone. It's just you and you, because no one can do it like you can. No one can no one can do it like you can. No one has the same ideas that you have, like, maybe they might be similar, but they're not going to execute it like how you can. So I feel like if we're thinking about it from that perspective, like there really is no competition. There really is no keeping up with anyone. It's really just you and you. And you get to decide what you want to do with your own social media. It doesn't have to be a certain way. It doesn't have a look a certain way. Like I know for me, like I used to be like so crazy about my feed, like, oh, I just wanted it to have a certain aesthetic and stuff, which is fine. But I feel like that's what was taking up like the most of my time, like making sure it looked how I wanted it to look. And like that took so much effort. And now I'm just like, I just want to put stuff up. And as long as I'm getting my point across, I'm good. As long as I'm happy with it, I'm good. So definitely something to keep in mind too. How do I forgive my mother that made my best friend hate me by telling her private information? Just need some advice because family should always be there to support you, not hurt you. Ooh. So it sounds like to me there needs to be some strong boundaries put in place. I will tell you guys this, boundaries will save your relationships. Point blank, period. Boundaries aren't a way to keep people out. I think they're a way to keep people in, right? I think it's a way to like show people how to treat you and like what you expect. So I would say boundaries first and foremost. I think another thing too is, and honestly, something that I've worked on in so many relationships is we all have different struggles. We all have different ways of doing life. We all have insecurity. We all have so many things going on. And what's given me so much peace when I'm dealing in like seasons of conflict with people is one, not to take anything personally. And again, I don't fully know like what your situation is, but a lot of times when people do things, it's less about you and more about them. Even if it feels like, oh my gosh, this person did something behind my back, or oh my gosh, this person said X about me. I feel like it's really just showing you where they're at in life, or where maybe they have, or maybe where they need to mature, they haven't evolved. Um, and it's not to say that we judge people for being at the places that they're in life, because I mean, I think we've all had moments where we've looked back on our life and been like, dang, I really could have handled that better. Dang, I could have said that a little bit differently. Dang, I wish I didn't do that. Right? Like, I think we've all had those moments. So I feel like when you're in a situation where maybe someone hasn't acted as how you would have in the situation or how you would have wanted, I think it's important to really take a step back and to really take a step back, remember that it's not personal. Remember that we're all evolving, we're all learning. And I would also just hear the person out and see what they have to say. You know what I mean? Like if they're coming from a place of they don't want to hold themselves accountable and um whatever, then I think that that's a whole different story. But I think that it's definitely worth a conversation. And I would say to the thing about your friend, um, listen, I have gone through so much in friendships. I really want to do like a whole podcast episode on just like navigating friendships, because it's I think as we evolve, as we get older, friendships change, right? And I mean, if this person, this friend is truly worth having in your life, like there'll come a time where you guys are able to like reconcile, I'm sure. And also remember that friendships ebb and flow. And like, this is something that I also had to come to terms with. Like, not every single person in your life is meant to be your friend forever, your best friend forever. Is meant to be the same level or type of friendship for your entire life. I mean, there are certain people in our lives who we are grateful to say that like they've been the same friend forever. And I think that's so beautiful. But I think that not everyone is that, So it's like, I would urge you to kind of like look at this relationship with your mom and your friend and think to yourself, like, especially for the friend, like, is this someone who you think, well, one, if this person was so quick to cut you off and quick to hate you, that's something I would question. Like, is that someone who you truly want in your life? And number two, like, is this friend truly forever? Is this friend for a season? Something that I also like to ask a lot, which I think I said this in an episode from like a few years ago, is like, and you guys know I'm like very spiritual, but I always ask this question, like, God, like, whoever is for me, please keep them in my life. Whoever is not, like, please keep them in my life. Whoever's truly aligned for me, whoever's not, please remove them. And whenever I say that prayer, like, I notice things start shifting in my life. Like, people be coming out the woodwork, or like popping in, like, people be coming out the woodwork, like testing me or like saying things or whatever. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I was really not expecting that coming from you, but I'm glad I know this so that now I can move away and distance myself, So, I hope that answers your question. Sorry, I'm just going back to your question because sometimes I can like ramble a bit. And I think also on the forgiveness piece, I think forgiveness is also at times more for you than it is for the other person. Like, I think that I think that you really need to get like super clear about like what like what is it that you want out of the situation? I mean, I have a really close relationship with my mom. It sounds like maybe you do too. And it sounds like you're not someone who wants to like not have your mom in your life, or, not have a good relationship with your mom. So it's like, I feel like maybe it's just about showing grace, like that's definitely something that I've had to work on, not even just grace for others, but like giving myself grace too. We all make mistakes. We all mess up. I mean, actually, this is something that my pastor at church actually said in a sermon not too long ago. She was like, think about a moment in your life where you made a really big mistake, something that you're really not proud of. Give yourself give yourself grace for it, but now like, but that should help you put yourself in maybe like your mom's position, right? Like, especially when it comes to a mom, it's like, I don't think they're ever really doing anything to seriously hurt us, right? I feel like they usually think they have our best interest at heart, even if they end up doing something that we don't actually love. So I think this is opening yourself up to show grace and to really have an honest conversation with your mom and maybe even your best friend too. But I hope that helps. Oh my gosh, stop. I'm going to cry. You are so welcome. Like, I am so here to help always. Like, friends, I've gone through all the things, like, I really have. And it's like, I love sharing and helping through my experiences. And it's funny, I was scrolling on social today, as I do, and this video of Oprah's podcast came up. And she said, oop, my hair's getting caught in my thing. And she said, life will give you the experience you need for the evolution of your consciousness. Think about it. Every time you went through something challenging, think, why was it there? To evolve you into the next level. When you're in the middle of the thing, you ask, what are you here to show me so that you can move out of it quickly? Ooh, that might also be really good advice to take into your situation. Because something that I'm realizing is that like Like in the past, whenever I was like in a chaotic time or like things were challenging or things were crazy, I would crumble. Like, why is this happening to me? Ugh, like I wish this wasn't happening, blah, 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 blah. But now I'm realizing that like these situations, these challenging times are actually meant to help us grow and evolve. And now, instead of being like, no, I don't want to do it, I don't want to be in it, I'm like, bring it on. Bring it on. Because I want to be molded into the person I need to be to step into the next level of my life. Always. And usually challenges are there to like test us, to help us grow, to make us stronger, especially like between this year and last year, I feel like I've gone through a lot of that, of just like not so fun situations, but like knowing that they were there for me to like grow and strengthen myself and like really step into my power and like my core. And throughout all of that, like I've really grown in that way. Like now, friends, oof, yo girl is strong, yo girl is resistant, okay? Like I feel like I've just grown so much and I feel so much comfortable with myself and in myself and also just in holding my space. I mean, it's always going to be a work in progress, don't get me wrong. Like I don't think we're ever like fully healed, or it's almost like you're never not working on yourself in a way, but it's like I feel just so much stronger to things that like used to make me crumble. So like I would also ask, like, is that why maybe like certain things are happening in your life? Like what is it that you're supposed to strengthen within yourself? um because I will say every new level of your life requires a different version of you. And I feel like sometimes we're prepared in ways that like don't always feel fun, but they're always so necessary for us. But they're always so necessary for us to kind of build what we need to build in order to get to that next level, that next chapter. Um, so then, also Royce says, oh my God, we're already 42 minutes in. Friends, see, this is how I know live streams are my thing and live streams are fun, because the time always like goes by like that. So we had a foster child and he was being moved homes, and my mom, sorry, my God, I feel like I have undiagnosed ADHD because my mind's all over the place. Okay, let me lock in. So we had a foster child and he was being moved homes, and my mom, whom I told, texted my best friend very private information at the time, and my best friend was angry I didn't tell her. See, okay, I'm glad you're sharing a little bit more of this, because one, not everything is everyone's business. And I mean, I don't necessarily feel it's right for someone to be mad at you because you didn't share information with them. Like, that's not anyone's business but yours. You get to choose. You get to choose who you want to know certain things. Like, no one has a right to know every single thing about your life. No one does. That's all you, boo. So if someone's upset with you because you didn't share information with them, to me, that's kind of a red flag. But I also want to open it up to you guys. Like, what do you guys think? Because I genuinely just don't think anyone should feel entitled to knowing everything about your life or anything about your life. That's for you and for you alone to decide who you want to share things with. And again, like with your mom, like, it's funny because there was a situation where my mom, actually, right before I was moving to Paris, I was so stressed out about the move. Like, I honestly like couldn't even really believe that it was happening. And because of that, like, I didn't really want a lot of people to know, because I think I was still coming to terms with the fact that it was actually happening. And I was just kind of like, oh, I'm just kind of like trying to keep it low key. Like, I didn't really want a lot of people to know because I think I was just scared, like, am I really gonna go through with this? And my mom ended up like, I don't think she outrightly told a friend, but like I think she was like having a conversation about it, and a friend was there, and the friend ended up finding out, or her family or whatever. And I remember being like really upset, like, mom, like that wasn't cool. Like, I didn't really want people to know. And it's like, obviously we resolved it. And honestly, it's like I know that my mom wasn't doing anything intentionally, right, to hurt me or anything like that. It's just it came out fine, gave her grace and moved on. So I think you also have to like, was it a situation like that? Like, I mean, because I doubt your mom was trying to hurt you and sharing that information. Um, and that's something that I'm trying to work on too. Is it's like when something happens that I'm not thrilled about, like zooming out and remembering that, like, wait, like this person is my mom, or this person is my friend, or this person isn't trying to hurt me in doing what they did, but I can't establish a boundary so that it doesn't happen again, if that makes sense. Oh, that's a good question from PJ. Like, did it actually impact her in some way? Um, because yeah, friend, I'm just like, ain't no one need to know everything about you. We do. We all need grace. Like, I'm really, really trying to give myself more grace because like I never really did. Like I was the person who, like, if I messed up, I was so quick to like beat myself up or like wish I had done things better or whatever. And I'm realizing too, it's like whatever it is that you want to see out in the world or give to others, it's like you usually have to give it to yourself first. Well, actually, I don't know. Sorry, as I was saying that, I'm like, I'm going to challenge myself on that because in the past, I would give grace to other people before I gave it to myself. Like, I would treat other people better than I treated myself. And like, I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I need to start treating myself as a friend. I need to start like treating myself how I treat other people. Like, why am I treating myself like crap, but like giving people grace and forgiveness and all the things, you know? So she definitely didn't mean to upset and break my friendship, but now I'm in a state where I don't really know how to trust her. Where you're not sure how to trust your mom. Well, okay, two things here. I feel like there are two things that I'd like for you to think about. Number 1, you're saying that she didn't mean to break your friendship. And my thing is, was she really the one that broke your friendship? Because to me it sounds like this friend is getting mad at you for not sharing information that she wasn't entitled to in the first place. So, was it your mom that broke the friendship, or did this situation just expose who your friend really is? And this isn't a judgment. I'm not saying don't be friends with this person. I'm not saying any of that. But I just encourage you to kind of look at it from like all angles versus just the fact that your mom did a thing to upset this friend. Um because I think your friend's reaction also says a lot, you know? Um And now you're in a state where you don't really know how to trust her, which I mean, I can understand, right? Like, I feel like when you share private information and then it's shared with other people, that can sting. So, I mean, personally, I would say until you have that conversation with her, maybe be a little bit careful around what you share. And it's like, I feel like as we get older, it's like our relationships with parents, our parents changes so much where it's like, sometimes we don't want to share everything with our parents, and that's okay. But sometimes we're just used to doing that. So it feels like the right thing to do, but it's like we don't have to. And I'm sorry if there are like parents on here and everything, but like I don't know, like sometimes you don't have to share every single little thing. Like sometimes there are things that maybe you keep to yourself. If you feel like you're in a state where you can't fully trust. But again, I do think it's worth having a conversation because maybe once your mom hears how you feel, maybe she'll be a little bit more careful about sharing things that are going on in your life. You know? So PJ says you will have to rebuild and have clear boundaries than boundaries with your mom. I had to establish clearer boundaries when my mom called me with Sally Mae on the line because they told her. Roy says, you're so right. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and insights. It's really helped me today. I was feeling really down. Oh, you're so welcome. Honestly, I'm so happy to help. I really am. And it's like, because I've just gone through so many situations where like I would drive myself crazy trying to figure things out. And it's like, it's always nice to have a sounding board. So yes, friend, I am here. I actually think I want to do more like AMAs on Instagram too. Just to kind of like help people with what they're going through based off of what I've gone through and things like, I don't know. I just feel like I have so much like to share that I'm more than happy to share. But it's like, if I'm not asked, then I kind of am just like, okay, like I'll just share whatever I'm feeling inspired by. But, also here to help if you guys have specific questions. Stevie says, the friend's reaction speaks something about her, but was she mad because she felt like you hadn't shared something she thought you would have shared with her sooner? Oh, you really, oh my gosh, friends. Oh my gosh, therapy time with Tiff. Therapy time with Tiff. Honestly, friends, what should we call it? I'd love having like a catchy name or something. But like, I don't know if I want to say therapy because it's like I'm not a licensed therapist and I ain't trying to get canceled. But I love sharing. Honestly, I feel like I've just gone through so much, just like mentally, emotionally, that's like kind of made me strong in this area, honestly. And it's funny because, oh my gosh, should I share this? Okay, I'm going to share it because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But like originally, like my new approach to the podcast was kind of like to be like the advice column kind of thing. And I really wanted to do, and I wasn't sure exactly how to do it, but it's like I really wanted to do more content where it's like you guys could just call in and ask me questions, versus like it always just be like me speaking directly to the camera. I feel like going live is just like the easiest way to do that. But like, I don't know, like maybe there's a way for me to like get like a phone number, like a business phone number, so you guys can like call in when I don't know, when I do the podcast or when I don't know. Cause it's like, I know that usually people do it through like, the more established podcasters will do it through a radio show, which oof, that would be a dream. That would be a dream. But like, I'm just not at that level yet. But I love this. I love chatting with you guys and helping. And I also think it's cool this way because you guys not only get my perspective, but you also get the perspective of like other people in the chat too. So yeah, we should think of something. We should think of something fun. Tiffy spills the tea. Wait, I love that. Cause I'm low-key like, should I just do like weekly live streams where we just like chit chat? And then like, I could still do some like sit down, more produced podcast episodes too. But it's like, I'm wondering if we just do some like, if we do just like weekly chit chats like this so that I can really just like answer your questions. Cause like, sometimes I feel bad that I don't get to respond to everything how I would like to, because I know in some of my podcast episodes, like you guys will write so much, which I love. Honestly, I love reading your stories. I love hearing what you're going through. And you guys know I always respond, but like sometimes I feel like when I'm doing live streams, it's like I have a little bit more time to, I don't know. I just sometimes feel like when I'm just like chatting and talking, sometimes even more information comes out that could be even more helpful. So I don't know. Maybe this is a way to kind of do it too. Um Oh, so Royce says I'm like so invested, Royce, in this story, and I feel like everyone else is too. So thank you so much for sharing. Honestly, thank you so much for sharing and being open and vulnerable with your situation because it's not easy sometimes to like share what's going on in your life, especially in like a public forum like this. So kudos for you for like trusting me and trusting this community. Um, because oof, it's not easy, but we're here to help. So Roy says we were friends for 12 years, and she was my best friend, so she's definitely hurt. I didn't share with her such a life change. And Royce, I understand, but again, like you don't have to tell people everything. Okay. Oh my God, my best friend, we have been friends since the womb. And again, this isn't meant to be like a comparison thing or whatever. But there's stuff that goes on in her life. There's stuff that goes on in my life. And like, I think because we have so much respect for each other, it's never like a weird thing. Like, you didn't tell me this or you didn't tell me that. You know what I mean? And so I think that maybe it's also worth, if you feel called to it, you don't have to do it. But maybe it's worth having a conversation with your friend. It almost feels like maybe you need some boundaries there too, because it's like, I'll never forget when I was in college. Um, when I was in college, I had this one friend who I will never forget. I was off campus. I went to see a movie with two other friends. And I think she had been texting me and I like missed the text or whatever. And when I finally saw the message, she was saying how like it was so inconsiderate that I left campus and didn't tell her. And it's so funny because back then I was in my people pleasing era and I was literally about to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I think it was another friend that was kind of like, girl, like you don't owe anyone an explanation for anything. Like you get to do what you want to do. You, again, don't have to, I mean, you get to share when you want to share. Like, I don't think anyone should. I guess this is what I'm trying to say. I don't want you to ever feel forced to share something that you're not ready to share or don't want to share. It's like, do it on your own terms. Oh my God, there we go. Because y'all know how I feel about living life on your own terms. And my whole thing with the podcast is creating the life you want, not the one you were told to live. Don't let anyone tell you how you're supposed to live or when you need to share information. No. Tiffy spills the tea. Oh my God, wait, should we call it Tiffy spills the tea? Okay, I'm going to ask on Instagram too. Tiffy's tea party. Well, that was supposed to be the whole concept of, because my podcast right now is called That's Real because it's supposed to be like just these kind of like real conversations. But maybe there's like a segment of the podcast that's like Tiffy spills the tea or me do, I don't know. Ooh, I need to think about this. But hold on, let me write this down so I don't forget it. Tiffy spills the tea. Tiffy spills the tea. Tea time with Tiff. Oh, and it would be cute if like we all were like, getting cozy with our tea. Tea time with Tiff. This is good. Thanks, friends. Parents sometimes don't know how to scale their parenting. it should evolve as we get older to encourage dependence and, and friends, I'm not a parent. So like parents, please feel free to jump in. I'm not a parent. But like the other day I was like talking to my mom and I was just like, or was it my dad? Honestly, maybe it was both of them. And I was just like saying to them, like how hard it must be to be a parent. Cause it's like, you see so many different versions of your child. Do you know what I mean? And you just have to constantly adapt. So it's like, I can see how hard it is for parents too. Like that can't be easy to like have to raise someone, see every stage of their evolution, know that they've been kind of like a different version of themselves in each chapter. You love them through every single chapter. But then also in each chapter, you're learning to relate to them in the way that they want you to relate to them. Like, I cannot imagine how hard that is. And I mean, I want to be a parent, like I'm excited. Like it's something that I want for myself. I want a family and all of that. But that's something I've just thought about as I've gotten older. Cause it's like Tiff in her 20s is not the same as Tiff in her 30s. Tiff in her 20s wasn't the same as Tiff as a teenager. And it's like our parents are just witnessing our evolution and just like trying to keep up. So it's like, I get it. Being a parent is not easy. It's not easy. At least from what I've gathered, it is. But parents, you guys can chime in. Does YouTube let you bring someone onto the live with you, or is that just IG? That could be something to consider if you go down the path of tea time or therapy talk. Oof. So Instagram does, YouTube does not. Let me see. I'm gonna look in the settings. You guys can still see me, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think YouTube lets you bring people on. That's why I'm like, I wish I had like a call-in number so you guys could like call, like literally just call me and like talk about your situation and then we like hash it out. Like, do you guys think I should look into getting like a number? Because I think that Google does it actually, where it's like you can call like a Google number and it'll go directly to you. Like maybe that's a way for us to do it so that at least you guys can hear the questions that are being asked and then we can like work through them. Maybe that's a way to do it. This YouTube. She was so angry. She wrote me a goodbye message saying, thanks for all the memories. We can't be. Oh, and guys, this is an update from Royce. So it says, she was so angry. She wrote me a goodbye message saying, thanks for all the memories. We can't be friends anymore. And it really did hurt me because she was a major support for me for years. It's so hard. Oh my gosh, Royce, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Like, I'm really, really sorry. And like, I don't know, to me, it's just not sounding like an aligned friendship. Like, I don't know. I think that's just a really big reaction over something that's so, I don't want to say small. That's not the right word. But I feel like it's just a really big reaction for like something that they were never entitled to know in the first place, if that makes sense. And trust me, I know friendship breakups are hard. I've had my fair share. They are not easy. Even on the other end where you have to like, when you're kind of like distancing yourself. But I think maybe this is opening the door for you to really sit with yourself and start to think like, is this person someone who I even want in my life? Is this someone who like, I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's a really, really big reaction for something that like is none of their business. You know what I mean? That's just my 2 cents. But I also get it's hard. I do. I also get it's hard. You're such an inspiration, Tiff. Definitely someone to look up to. You're so, oh my gosh, thanks so much. Stop. Thank you. That means a lot. Bye, PJ. Enjoy the boot camp. Aw. Tiff, what are your thoughts, advice on navigating singleness in your 30s? Most of the time I'm good, but on some, ooh, friend, listen, I'm low-key like, do I get into this on this live stream or do we save it for next week? Because we're already at an hour. Asia, would you be down for us to talk about it on the next live stream? Because I have so many thoughts on this and it's something that I've been working through. Let me know because I really want to give you like a good, well thought out response. And I don't want to like be quick with it. But I will say my number one piece of advice though on navigating singleness in your 30s, focus on you. What is it that you like? What is it that you want to do? Like, I almost feel like stop focusing on the singleness and just start focusing on like, how could you be having fun right now? What is it that you love to do? Can you pick up a new hobby? I'm also reading this book called Why Men Love. I don't know if I can say the word because I feel like I swore in one of my podcast episodes and now I feel like YouTube has me in YouTube jail and isn't like pushing my content out. But it's the book is called Why Men Love Bees, BITC. Okay. It's changing my life and changing how I want to date. And I would love to like chat about this more with you guys, probably next week. Because my mind is blown. But I will say, focus on you. There's this TikTok. I'm gonna see if I can pull it. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Where this girl and her friend were both super, super single, and they were just like so over it, and they both decided to just like go hard on working on themselves, doing the inner work, all of that. And in that process, they ended up like meeting their husbands and all of that. So focus on yourself, girl. Focus on yourself, improving yourself, doing the inner work, shadow work. Friends, I did a lot of shadow work over the last few months. Focus on yourself. Also, before I hop off, are any of you guys based in LA? I've been really wanting to do like a meetup in LA. But also Asia, let's save that convo for next time too, because I want to like go deep into it. Yeah, I agree. Patricia says you are the center on the conversation of parenting. You are the center of your child's life, and then you're not anymore. Constantly adjusting and learning learning to every stage. It's not easy. I can only imagine. I have to remember frequently that my parents have done the best they could with what they had, even if it didn't work out great. Honestly, yes. And it's like, we also have to remember this is our parents' first time living too. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is their first time experiencing having a child who's in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, whatever it is. You know, it's their first time too. And I feel like that's also helped me just give more grace. Okay, I'm going to try and like do a quick run through and just get to any of the questions or like quick questions that I might have skipped over before I jump off. But this is so fun. I love doing this. I love going live. I do. I like going live more than sitting down and just recording the podcast, which is why I think this is kind of like what I need to do more of. Because again, following that ease and flow, following what feels right, following what feels good. let's see. Yay, Asia's down for the next live stream. Yay. Okay, so friends, remember, her question was, if you guys want to tune into the next live. Oh, Asia, I lost your question. Shoot. And maybe by the next live, I'll figure out the phone number thing. Here it is. Hold on, let me screenshot this so that I screenshot your question. So friends, for those of you guys tuning into the next live stream, her question was, what are thoughts on advice? What are my thoughts and advice on navigating singleness in your 30s? Most of the time she's good, but on some days she's struggling, which I know the feeling. Same here, girl, same here. So we'll get into that next time. Okay. Any other quick questions? Tiff, do you have advice on picking the right country in Central South America for me to try to get citizenship? Ooh, that's a really good question. I do. And actually, ooh, friends, sometimes I'm like, do I need to bring back my get over your ish and find, sorry, do I have to bring back my get over your ish and plan your move abroad course? Because I feel like there are some prompts in there that would really help you with this. Because I think in general, when it comes to picking where you want to move to or where you might want to get citizenship in, I would really make sure you're comfortable with the lifestyle of that place first and foremost. And that like you live it, you breathe it, you love it. It's like where you can truly see yourself. Because as you guys know, like in Paris, I got to the point where I was like, can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm out. But I experienced it for a little bit. So I would say that first and foremost, like if there are countries in South America that you've actually been able to spend an extended amount of time in so that you can kind of decide where, that's great. If you haven't, I would encourage you to book some flights, my friend. Maybe it's worth really like going to this country, really settling in, getting an Airbnb for a month, seeing if you like the way of life. Like I would really start there. Because I think that choosing where to live, where to get citizenship, I think it's such a personal decision. I don't think it's like a one size fits all approach. I think you really need to feel it in your heart and in your soul that you want to be there. So that's what I would say for that. For YouTube live streamers, use something like StreamYard, and you can invite people to join by providing. Oh, cool. Thanks, Patricia. Okay, I'll definitely look into that. I'll look into StreamYard. People bring folks on with StreamYard or Zoom, but you have to be careful and screen the calls. See, and this is okay. And this brings up a good point. I don't know if any of you guys have worked in like radio or anything, but like, because that's something I always wonder. It's like when people call in to these shows, there's usually someone who screens the call, right? Like something must happen like that where like someone's like, I don't know, where someone's like at least getting the person's name, maybe giving the host a short synopsis on like who they are or something. Like there has to be something, right? Now I'm like, what do I do with like, do I hire a virtual assistant? How do I do all of that? But I would love to find a way for you guys to kind of like reach me to really be able to like share what's going on so we can talk about it. So, okay, I'm definitely let me write some notes down. I'm going to look into StreamYard and then I'm going to look into the phone call thing, StreamYard. Because that's the thing with StreamYard. I think it's cool that I can have someone on, but then if I want to vet them, how would I do that if I'm also hosting the live, you know? Because I at least think with a caller, it's like if they call and they start acting crazy, I can just bloop, delete the call. Sorry, end the call. So we'll see. I had a lot of toxic friends I cut after high school. Whew. Sorry, friend. Low hanging fruit question. Any plans to visit Paris again anytime soon, or is Paris on the back burner indefinitely? Usually it's so funny. Every summer since I've left Paris, I've ended up back in Paris. And this is the first year that I did not plan a summer trip to Paris. I know it's crazy. Right now there are no plans, but never say never, because actually one of my really good friends there just had a baby and I really want to see her and love on her and everything. So I will say this, nothing's booked yet. But so I'm not sure when I'll go, but it's not really a priority, I would say. Stevie said, I just turned 40 last month. Hey, happy birthday to you. No, we have to give her, no, we got to give her the good happy birthday song. Let's sing it all together, friends. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If it's your birthday, make some noise. If it's your birthday, make some noise. If it's your birthday, make some noise. Make some noise. Make some noise. That's my favorite one. Okay. I'm in Corona. Would love to meet you one day. Been following your. Oh my God, fun! Okay, I want to do a meetup in LA. I really want to do one. Okay, we'll see. I know I want to live in Latin America. I just got to pick a base. Gotcha, friend. Gotcha. Yeah, I think maybe do some exploring. Really map out and think about, because in my Get Over Your Ish and Plan Your Move Abroad course, I'm so proud of myself for building that course. I feel like maybe I need to like refresh it and bring it back. Because a lot of it is like me obviously like giving you guys the tools and everything, but it's like I reference a lot that I'm living in Paris because I was at the time that I created it. So I feel like it needs a refresh. But in the course, I literally have mapped out like how do you decide on which city is right for you. And it's a really good like exercise. I'm like, do I bring it back? Do I just bring the workbook back? Because the workbook is really good. Let me think about that. Okay. StreamYard has a screening feature where you let them in. I think you can see their YouTube info so you know who they are. Maybe they have to be a member or other criteria. Okay. Oh my gosh, thanks, friends, for following me since my Paris days. It really means a lot. I feel like I'm in this like new era of content creation, but it does still feel like an extension of what I was doing in Paris because it's, life on your own terms and like all the things. But thanks for being a part of this community. Like I love this community. Like I really, really do. It's like I love that we can talk about stuff like this. I love that like you guys don't just listen, you also like give input too. Do you know what I mean? Like we all helped Royce out with everything. And I don't know, it's really fun to be a part of this community. And thank you so much for being here. I can't wait until the next live stream. I'm low-key wondering if we should, hey. I'm low-key like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how I should do this. Because it's like, on one hand, I'm like, do we just do live streams every Thursday at like 4 around this time? Do we do live streams once a week? See, that's what I'm trying to figure out, like, if it should just be the same time next week. And then if I wanna post an actual produced podcast video, I mean, it's not like I have to post it on Thursday, it can kind of be, like, whenever. Um, yeah, I'm low key like, should we say same time next week? Um, I think so. I think so, but let me confirm with you guys in a little bit. Why don't we I'll confirm like on the YouTube community tab uh for next week, but I'm like 99% sure it'll be the same time. Yeah, regular time is usually helpful. That's what I was thinking too. And I feel like this time works. Oh, do you guys get commercials even during the lives? Wait a second. So during this live stream today, you guys were getting commercials? That's crazy. So the only reason why I'm questioning this time is because I know I have a very international audience, and I know that it's really late in Europe right now, so I feel like my European audience. Oh my god, that's insane. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm gonna try and figure that out because I didn't realize that there were commercials during the live stream. Like, honestly, I just thought it was like the live, and then after, like, if I uploaded it as a video on YouTube, then there'd be commercials. Um, oh my god, it's 2:21 a.m. for you. The luxury bucket list. Where are you tuning in from? Um, okay, I'm gonna look into see if I can block because that's not fun for you guys to have to like sit through commercials. Especially if we're gonna be like getting into the nitty-gritty and talking about juicy stuff and people want to get advice, like commercials aren't fun. Yeah, let me definitely look into that. Um, thanks for letting me know. Um, sorry, what was I gonna say? Yeah, that's why I'm worried about the time. And I usually can't do earlier because I'm working, especially on a Thursday. Like weekends, I can usually do a little bit earlier. Um, because originally the plan was, do I like do the produced podcast episodes on Thursday and then the live streams on like Saturday, Sunday? Um, oh, you're saying it's 2:21 a.m. for Europe. Yeah. Yeah. I just need to figure that piece out, like the timing, because I want to make sure, because I'll feel bad if the European audience has to miss out because it's too late. Hold on, let me see. Also, I do need to jump soon. Like my friend in London just texted me, um, because she came on for a little bit, but she's like, "Girl, I gotta pass out." So yeah, we gotta figure out this timing. Um, or is it do we do it on the weekend instead of during the week so that I can do it a little bit earlier? Uh, what time is? Hold on. Is what time is 2:30? Because the good thing is I work mostly East Coast hours. What time is 2:30 p.m.? What time is 2:30 p.m. PST to Paris time? It's 11:30 on a weekend. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going to think about the timing of everything and I'll get back to you guys, but this was so fun. I love this. I love you. Grateful for all of you who tuned in. Um I think live streams are my jam, friends. I'm really liking this. Um So yeah, I just have to decide what day and time I want to do this. So I will get back to you on that. Look out for a post either in the post tab on YouTube or I'll do a post on Instagram is what I'm thinking. Oh my God, stop! Big sis Tiff. Happy to help. Happy to help. Thanks for being here. I love you guys, and we'll chat again next week. Bring your questions. Bring all the questions. And I wrote it down, but in case I forget, we definitely got to talk through dating or being single. Sorry, being single in your 30s. Love you guys. This was so fun. See you next week.